Do you often wonder where to put words like often, usually, always, rarely, seldom, even, both, etc. in your sentences? Confusion about where to use adverbs can influence your fluency. But by learning about adverbs and their correct position in a sentence, you can boost your written and spoken fluency. And this video will help you to understand adverbs in detail so that you can use them reflexively and spontaneously in your day-to-day language. So let's start learning grammar. All you need to know about adverbs is what is an adverb, function of adverbs in a sentence, types of adverbs and position of adverbs in a sentence. Now let us understand what is an adverb. When we look at the word adverb, I usually teach my students by breaking this word into ad plus verbs. That means adjective plus verb. So generally speaking, any word which modifies or describes or adds meaning to verb is called an adverb. But when we look at the definition, it says that it also modifies an adjective and another adverb. You will be able to remember this with the help of this picture. Now, let us understand this with the help of these three examples. She swims quickly. Here, swims is a verb and quickly is a word which is describing the action swim. And that is why the adverb quickly is modifying a verb here in this example. Now in second example, quick is an adjective because it is modifying the noun swimmer. And we have extremely as extra word which is used here to add more information to our adjective quick. And thus in this sentence, adverb is modifying an adjective quick. Let us understand with the third example how an adverb modifies another adverb. She swims extremely quickly. Now here we have two adverbs, extremely and quickly. We could have said that she swims quickly, but we need to know the intensity of the action, and that is why we have used the word extremely here with quickly, and thus adverb is modifying another adverb. So I hope now you have understood how adverbs modifies or describe another verb, an adjective or another adverb. Now let us understand what do adverbs do in a sentence. That is function of adverbs. Now when an adverb modifies any verb, it answers the question how, when, where, why, how often or how much the action is performed. You can see in all these examples how the adverb fast, yesterday, there, daily answers the questions how he runs, when did he run, where did he run, and how often he runs. And on the basis of this, we divide our adverbs into 8 different categories. So here is the list of types of adverbs. First is adverb of frequency, then we have adverb of manners, adverb of place, adverb of time, adverb of degree, adverb of purpose or reason, then we have interrogative adverbs, and at the end we have relative adverbs. Now we need to understand them in detail. So first of all, let us understand what is adverb of frequency. These adverbs generally let us know how often the action takes place. And the most commonly used adverbs of frequency includes always, usually, often, sometimes, rarely or seldom, and never. Now, this picture will help you to use these adverbs correctly in your sentences. For 100% frequency, we use the adverb always. For 80% frequency of the action, we use the word usually. For 70% frequency, we use the word often. Then for 50% frequency, we use the word sometimes. And we use the words rarely or seldom when the frequency of the action is only 20%. And when the frequency of the action is 0%, at that time we use the adverb never. You can understand this with the help of this example. I usually wake up at 5 a.m. Now it means that he does not wake up at 5 a.m. every day, but most of the time he wakes up at 5 a.m. That is, the frequency of his waking up at 5 a.m. is 80%, and that is why we have used the adverb usually here. Now, another very important thing which we need to know about adverbs is placing them correctly in a sentence. Now, most of us make error in placing adverbs correctly in a sentence. Now, generally speaking, an adverb is placed between an auxiliary and the main verb. Now, this you can understand with the help of an example. I have never visited Turkey. Here, have is our auxiliary and visited is our main verb. And we have placed our adverb of frequency never between these two. Now, if we have to be form of verb, that is state of being, then the adverb is placed after it. As you can see in the example, they aren't usually late. Here, aren't is our to be form of verb, and that is why we have placed our adverb of frequency after our to be form of verb aren't. Now, what are to be form of verbs? I had already explained this in my previous video, Basics of English Grammar. So watch it for understanding to be form of verbs. Now, if we have a modal verb, now most of my students, they pronunciate this word modals. Now, it is not modal, it is modal. And if we have a modal verb in our sentence, then the adverb of frequency will be used after it. You must always try your best. Here, the adverb always is used after the modal verb must. So I hope now you have understood what is an adverb of frequency and where to place adverb of frequency correctly in a sentence. Now let us understand what will be the sentence structure if we will be using adverb of frequency in question form. Now the question order of adverb of frequency will be auxiliary plus subject plus adverb of frequency and plus main verb. Now if we look at the example, do you always eat here? So we will be able to correlate this example with this question order. Now do is our auxiliary verb. Then you is our subject. Always is our adverb of frequency and eat is our verb. So now I think you have understood what is the correct sequence of question order when we use adverb of frequency in a question. So this is the question order we are going to use in our language. Now let us talk about adverb of manners. These words generally inform us how the action was performed, whether it was done slowly, fast, happily, angrily, carefully, etc. And these adverbs are very easy to identify as most of them can be made by just adding ly as suffix. But not all the adverb of manners are created by adding ly. For example, when I say he drives fast, here I am not adding ly. You can see in the example, we have adverbs like quietly, slowly, elegantly, which are informing us about the action, how to come, how some elderly people drive, and how they dress up. And if we talk about their position in a sentence, they are usually placed after the main verb. As you can see in all these examples, come quietly, drive slowly, dress elegantly, talk loudly. So you will notice that all these adverb of manners, they are placed after the main verb come, drive, dress and talk. So I hope you have understood what is an adverb of manners. Now let us understand adverb of place. Now adverb of place inform us where the action took place. Here is the list of commonly used adverb of place, and in all these examples you can see how the highlighted words here, there, upstairs, off, somewhere are informing us about the location where the action is being carried out. Now, talking about their position in a sentence, so you can see here that they are generally placed after the main verb. Sit, running, getting, go. So this is the position of adverb of place in a sentence. Another thing is, most of the adverb of place, they indicate movement in a particular direction and end in the letter words. As you can see here, upwards, downwards, forwards, backwards. So there are many adverb of places, and here is the list of adverb of places which you can use in your day-to-day language. Now let us talk about adverb of time. They inform us about when an action happened, but they also inform for how long the action happened. Now adverb of time that tell us when include words like now, today, yesterday, tomorrow, tonight, last month, later, etc. An adverb of time that tell us for how long. Those adverbs include words like all day, for, since. Now, for example, when I say she stayed in my house all day, so here I am using this adverb of time and I am informing about how long she stayed in my house. If I say my mother lived in America for 2 years, so here I am using this adverb of time. And then we have since. I have been going to this school since 2013. So this is how I can use adverb of time by using the word since. If we talk about their position, they are placed usually in the end of a sentence. And if the adverb used is not the focus of the message, that is when we do not want to emphasize the adverb, we use it in the beginning of the sentence. Now you can understand this difference with the help of these two examples. I will see him tomorrow. Here we are emphasizing the word tomorrow. This is our adverb of time, and that is why it is placed at the end of a sentence. Today I am going to London. Here the adverb of time today is not the focus of our message, and that is why placed at the beginning of a sentence. So I hope you have understood what is adverb of time, how to use adverb of time in a sentence. Now let us move on to adverb of degree. Generally include words like almost, nearly, quite, just, too, enough, hardly, completely, scarcely, very, extremely, etc. And these adverbs generally modify adjectives and adverbs. Now let us talk about their position. When we look at this sentence structure, so it says that they are placed before an adjective or an adverb. So our sentence structure would come out as subject plus main verb, then adverb of degree, and at the end adverb or an adjective. It means adverb of degree will come before an adjective or an adverb. We can understand this with the help of these examples. Now looking at these examples, the words, the adverbs really and extremely are the adverbs which are informing us about the intensity of adjectives interesting and impressed. And the adverbs remarkably and somewhat are modifying the adverbs quickly and hastily. So I hope you have understood what is an adverb of degree. Now let us talk about adverb of purpose or reason. These adverbs answer the question why something happened, and they can modify verbs, adverbs or adjectives. They can come in the form of individual words like so, since, thus, because, and also in the form of clauses like so that, in order to, etc. They are used to connect sentences that wouldn't make sense if they were formed alone. So they often begin with subordinating conjunctions because, as, since, and that. I sing because I like singing. Here, because I like singing is an adverbial clause because it is answering the question why I sing. And why it is clause? Because it has a subject and it has a verb. As and since are used when the reason is already known to the listener. Now you can understand this with the help of this example. As it is raining, again, we will have to cancel the match. So here, the reason is already known to the listener. That is why we are using the adverb as. And in an informal style, the same idea can be expressed with so. It is raining again, so we have to cancel the match. So you can use as and you can use so. If we talk about their position in a sentence, so it usually appears at the beginning of the second sentence, as you can see here. So here second sentence is beginning, and that is why we are using our adverb of purpose here. But it can be used in the beginning, before or after the word it is modifying. So here all these three examples help you to understand its position. It is used here in the middle, it is used in the beginning, and it is used in the middle. Now, and at last we have interrogative and relative adverbs. I have placed these two types of adverbs at one place because many children get confused while identifying interrogative and relative adverbs because they look same. Now, interrogative adverbs are used to ask different types of questions, and they are used at the beginning of questions, as you can see here in the examples. They include why, where, when, how. Now, one thing which you need to note down here is that when an interrogative adverb starts a question, the second word is the verb. Now, this is very important. Let us try to understand this with the help of first example. Why is the garden in such a mess? Now, most of the children make error in framing questions and they write it as why the garden is in such a mess. Means they do not put this auxiliary here, they put it after garden, and that is why they generally write why the garden is in such a mess. So that would be wrong. So the correct place of verb here would be after an adverb. So be particular of the sentence structure and place adverbs and other parts of speech correctly to form meaningful sentence. Then we have relative adverbs. They also include words like where, when, and why, and that is why children get confused while identifying interrogative and relative adverbs. But here we need to note down that these relative adverbs where, when, and why, they are not used in a sentence to ask question, but they are used as subordinating conjunction that introduces an adjective clause. As you can see in the example, I know the town where you live. Here the adverb where is not used for asking question, but it is used as a conjunction which is modifying an adjective clause where you live. Now why it is adjective clause? Because here town is a noun and thus the adverb where heads an adjective clause. Similarly, when we say they are talking about an era when a promise was a promise, here when a promise was a promise, this adjective clause is headed by an adverb when. So I hope you have understood adverbs in detail. Let's check the 3 important points which we have learnt about adverbs. Adverbs modify verbs, but they also modify adjectives and other adverbs. Now in this example, adverb insanely is modifying an adjective sad, and another adverb extremely is modifying another adverb that is well, and we have one more adverb here that is well. Now this adverb is modifying the verb sang. So I hope now you have understood how adverbs modify verbs, adjectives and other adverbs. Second point is that many adverbs end with ly, but lots do not. So here are many examples of adverbs which do not end with ly. Now, in real life sentences, lots of adverbs are phrases or clauses. That is, they are not used in single words. Sell it quickly. Now here we have only one word, quickly, as an adverb. But here, sell it as soon as possible. So we are using as an adverbial phrase. And in the last example, you can see sell it before the market closes. So we are using an adverbial clause. So you can see how adverbs play very important role in framing English sentences. I hope all your doubts about adverbs are clear now. Thank you for watching. Keep learning.